Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Euro 2020 review. Day 6, another great day of football, especially if you're a fan of Russia, Wales or Italy, and the Italians late in the day became the first team to qualify for the knockout stages. Let's get into each of these games. There are the results. Finland 0, Russia 1 in the 2 o'clock, tying that group all up on 3 points. We'll have a look ahead at Denmark and Belgium later on. Turkey 0, Wales 2. Superb stuff from the Welsh. They look really close to qualifying. And the Italians win 3-0 again. They have qualified. A second successive clean sheet, a second successive 3 points, a second successive 3 goals as well. Let's go first to the Finns and the Russians. This obviously is Group B. If I've got me A's and B's and everything correct, they're all over the shop with different groups on different days now, aren't they? There are your lineups. Finland, remember, had won that first game, interrupted by the problems for Christian Eriksen, who we now know is in a much better shape. Hradecki in goal for Finland. Raitala, Tovio, Ajuri, O'Shaughnessy, Urinen, Kamara, Schuller, Lod, Poyan Palo and Puki for the Finns. For the Russians, Safanov, Baranov, Divev, Zhikia, Kuzayev, Fernandez, Ozdoyev, Zobnin, Golovin, Miranchuk and Zhuba up top. And the Russians get themselves back into the tournament with this one. But they thought they'd gone behind early. VAR, well, it's right, isn't it? Just leaning offside there, Payan Polo. He heads it in beautifully for what would have been his second of the tournament. However, VAR, rightly, pedantry ahoy, intervenes. And then the Russians get on top in the game. Look at that. That cross has come from the left-hand side, just squidged out past the far post before it can be put in. But here is the goal from Miranchuk. We've been joking about how many good Atalanta players there are at the tournament. Here's another one. Great feet. Something of remember the Dennis Bergkamp goal against Sunderland? I know he put it in with his right foot. Where he's there. He said he quickly just opens up his body and side foots it round with the right foot. He does this from the other side. Control. Just opens the body, strokes it left-footed, bends it around the keeper. And we've got a great shot. Look at that from inside the goal. And he sticks it in the top corner. Lovely goal by Miranchuk. 1-0 Russia. And they push on in the second half. The Russians, decent save there. And that was all she wrote in that game. And you can see a game of few decent chances. I know we always get a slightly stingier XG score on SofaScore than we do on Infogol, but both of them, well, around one or slightly less than one expected goal. Russia 59 on the possession, 14 shots, 4 corners to 1. So some of the underlying numbers were with the Russians. I didn't do this one as a watch along. I did the next two that we're about to talk about. So I'm relying on some commenters that said it wasn't the greatest game. It lacked in big chances. It was a tight game. The Russians probably edged it, and it was a moment of quality by Miranchuk to win the game. And there are the standings, and how about that? 3-3-3-0. So we've got Belgium and Denmark tonight at 5 p.m. We'll be watching that one. A win for the Belgians does not guarantee anything, unlike the group with Wales and Italy, and that we'll talk about in a second, where the Italians have already qualified. So, what that would guarantee, though, is that the Danes, well, they could still qualify, though, couldn't they? If they can get onto 3 points in the last game, and Finland lose to the Belgians in the last game also. So lots of ifs, buts and maybes. and 3 teams on 1 victory. And we could get the complete Hail Mary if Denmark can beat the Belgians, which does feel unlikely considering events surrounding the Danish camp and, maybe some emotional control needed from the Danes after the shock of Christian Eriksen's situation, not to mention the quality of the Belgians. But wide open, let's just say, going into the last round, where obviously we have the Finns have already played the Danish and the Russians, so they'll play the Belgians. And Russia-Denmark could be a bit of a slogfest for qualification, that one, couldn't it? We'll check that one out 8 p.m. next Monday night. I'm sure it will be on us imminently. Anyway, let's talk about the Welsh, because they were fantastic, weren't they? Turkey versus Wales. Wales had drawn their first game and knew that a win would be a really big deal, especially given they played the Italians in the last game. There are the teams for the Turks: Shakir, Celik, Ayhan, Soyuncu, Merash, Yokuslu, Under, Tufan, Chahanoglu, Karaman, Yilmaz. And the Welsh are unchanged. Ward, Roberts, Methven, Brodden, Davies, Allen, Bale, Ramsey, Morel, James, Moore. Look, international managers, I have to say, fans are obsessed, and pundits, with who is not playing. Completely obsessed. It's never about who's on the pitch. It's always about who's not on the pitch. Rob Page, unchanged and vindicated. He gets the win. Sometimes you don't have to change a player. It's what those players on the pitch do. And the Welsh players played here with good intensity. But the key, they got Gareth Bale a bit deeper. They got Aaron Ramsey running past him. And those two, Real Madrid, Juventus, those two players had a much, much bigger influence in the game. Got the quality players on the ball, the Welsh, and then all of the endeavour and organisation, no small amount of quality around it, could then thrive knowing that Bale, other than the horrible missed penalty, was really at it in this game. Bale, for the first time, slips Ramsey through. He could have taken it on left-footed, cuts inside, can't squeeze that shot home. Look at Kiefer Moore on the back post as well if he just stands that up. But you've got to shoot from there, haven't you? Frankly, you've got to score from there. Keeper's well positioned, but Ramsey will consider that a big chance. Not as big as that one. Bale again comes short from the right-hand side, a half position, tucks inside, feeds it through. They did not play Bale well, the Turks, did they? And Ramsey, really bad finish that. He had more time than he thinks. Look, Soyuncu's miles away from him. He can really set himself and find the far corner. That would have been the finish. Again, keeper well positioned, but Ramsey slashes it over the top, and you start to think, is it going to be one of those days for the Welsh? Is it going to be one of those days for Aaron Ramsey? No, because this being football, the most difficult chance, yet again, Bale to Ramsey, brilliant driven ball through by Gareth Bale, and Ramsey chest down, and when he's got a little bit less time, he does the perfect thing and chests it down. He gets enough of a good contact to steer it round Shakir in goal and into the corner. 1-0 Wales, well deserved. And then into the second half, it should have been all over. Bale catching out Celik there. He's just inside the box, isn't he? Look, draw a foul, use whatever language you're comfortable with. That's what he does. Celik leaves himself open to it, doesn't it? Penalty, and the only blot on his copybook in this game, because he was brilliant other than this, Bale, he slams the penalty over the crossbar. It's a horrible penalty. It's a horrible moment as well. And I thought, oh no, the Turks are guaranteed to come back to equalise. But the Welsh show really great character in this one. Straight after the penalty's missed, Bale nearly charges down the keeper. That would have righted the wrong of missing the penalty. The ball just flies wide of the post. And then a great moment, a really great moment actually, late on, with the Turks committing a bit more to attacking, with them essentially going out of the tournament if they don't. Bale takes a short corner, dribbles in and sets up Connor Roberts, who just manages to, hit it hard and low through the gap. You can see Shakir, the keeper's looking around the defender, and it's forced through into net. A great moment. Roberts runs over and celebrates. All of the bench get up. Superb stuff from the Welsh. And let's be fair, a thoroughly deserved victory. Look at that shot map as well. 3.83 says in for goal. 3.71 says Sofa score on the XG. Turkey forced a bit, including, you see that big blob is a big chance for Yilmaz, but it didn't quite drop down. I can see 18 shots for Turkey, but it didn't really feel like they were huge danger, did it? 6 big chances forced by the Welsh, including that penalty miss. And they did allow the Turks possession. You can see 63-37 on that. But if you watch the game, you'll know that if Wales had have been pegged back to a draw, that would have been, it really would have felt like, despite what those underlying numbers say, it would have felt like they'd thrown away the 3 points for sure. Brilliant from Wales. And let me know, in terms of your MVP, let's talk about value to team. Maybe we nominate Gareth Bale, who really was what you wanted from the Welsh. A star player allowed to shine by some more unselfish teammates, particularly Joe Morrell and Joe Allen in the centre of midfield. Well played, Wales. They win 2-0 against Turkey. And on we go to the Italians. Very impressive again in Rome. Italy 3, Switzerland 0. Italy are through. Donnarumma in goal. Di Lorenzo the only change. So Bonucci, Chiellini, who's not going to last more than 20 minutes. So Spinazzola, Locatelli, Jorginho, Barella, Berardi, Immobile, Insigne. For Switzerland, Sommer in goal. Elvedi, Shah, Akanji, Rodriguez and Mbabu. The wing-backs I like both. Xhaka, Frilla, Shaqiri and Bolo, who was impressive against the Welsh, and Seferovic. And the Italians thought they'd taken the lead. You can see around the 20-minute mark there by the clock. Giorgio Chiellini in for a challenge. You can't see Xhaka, who's actually hidden by Chiellini. There's 3 of them jumping together, Akanji as well. It kind of header, bang, bang, hits the arm, drops down, is put into the net. We know what that law says. Doesn't matter, deliberate, not deliberate, if the ball goes in the goal straight afterwards. That matters more, sadly, than we see lots of comments about, oh, this, that, the other, blah, advantage, slowed the ball down. Doesn't matter. All that matters is if the ball drops in the net, it is handball. And whether you like the rule or not, until we, as I was saying in the chat last night, until we can find some scientific analysis of how much advantage the player has gained from the situation, then that's all they've got, isn't it, in the word? And if it goes in the goal straight after a handball, it gets disallowed. It does get disallowed. Chiellini disappointed, and even more disappointed. We'll see how he is, because he went off injured, and he was in proper captain mode, hyping his team up, emotional for the national anthem, scoring, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame the way it ended for Chiellini, but I'm sure we'll see him back. But it didn't take the Italians much longer to take the lead. And that looks a very simple goal, but it's a brilliant goal, actually, from Locatelli. Finishes it off right-footed. What you don't see is a beautiful volleyed pass from left to right by Locatelli. Berardi takes it down the line. Yes, if your glass is half empty and we're in, there's something wrong with every goal mode that people like to be. They should have stopped the cross. But Berardi does well. He's having a good tournament. There's lots of Italians having a good tournament so far. Look, they've won both games 3-0, for goodness sake. Squares it in low, and Locatelli puts it in, third man run from midfield. Although he can't be the third man because he played the initial pass, didn't he? So that's how well he got forward to support. Brilliant from the Italians. And here is 2-0. It's Locatelli. Again, they built the attack up down the right. They managed to keep things going again. Fullbacks in the picture. Di Lorenzo there in the penalty box. Out to Locatelli. And we said this in the stream as well. Edge of the box. You're a professional footballer. How's your technique in game state with everything going on around you? Can you just go cold, get that technique, and you know if you hit that ball with good pace into the corner, you're looking good there, and that's exactly what Locatelli does. It's a good finish from outside the box. His second of a great performance from central midfield from the young Sassuolo midfield player. And one big chance for the Swiss. Zuba came off the bench, and Donnarumma's got his angles right there, and the Italians are going to keep another clean sheet. Not only that, they're going to get another goal. Little bit further out, Immobile had actually missed 2 far easier chances. He's got a touch of the Aaron Ramsey's here, hasn't he? And hits the shot right-footed. Look, we had... my immediate thing was keeper should save it. It's curling away from the keeper. It's slightly awkward, but the other one, Locatelli, right in the corner, he's got no chance. A little bit closer in, hit harder. This one, you think a professional international class goalkeeper, given how close Summer gets, is going to make the save. He doesn't. It's in the corner. A second of the tournament for Immobile, who will be in the Golden Boot conversation and would like to fill his Golden Boots again with Finland to come wrong group. Oh, for God's sakes. With the Welsh to come in the last game, he'll want another group game goal. Or will the Italians rest some players? We can talk about that. There's the shot map and the numbers. Look at that. 0.25 chances created. They don't class Zubas as a big chance like I was suggesting. 5 big chances to 0 in that case. And I suppose the most dangerous stat, they didn't monopolise the possession. 49 Italy, 51 Switzerland. It shows those Italians in a knockout game can sit in and with those fullbacks getting forward, Jorginho will sit the 2 central midfielders, and then you've got the nice direct threat of Berardi, bit more imagination from Insigne, and the number 9 Immobile has got 2 goals already. They look dangerous, the Italians, don't they? There is an argument. Okay, they've played the Turks and the Swiss so far. They're going to play the Welsh. Let's see who they get tested by in the knockout stages, which they are guaranteed to have qualified for, because there is your table. So Italy, brilliant, 6 goals, 6 points. They are through. Neither Switzerland, whose maximum upside is 4, and the Turks, whose maximum upside is 3, can catch them. And of course, Switzerland and Turkey play one another in the last game. So they both can't get 3 points. And everything is looking good for the Welsh now. They have 4 points. So it's Wales versus Italy, Switzerland versus Turkey. The Welsh are going to hope the Italians rest a couple of players, or maybe 5 or 6 players in this last game. So the only way the Welsh can't finish second now is if they lose to Italy, Switzerland beat Turkey, and it's -3 on the goal difference for the Swiss and +2 for the Welsh. We need a 5-goal swing as well. So, for example, let's make it 6. If Wales lost 3-0 and Switzerland won 3-0, Wales would drop into one of those third-place positions, but they would still have 4 points as well. And we're into the realms of the unlikely, but never say never. We see some strange things in these last days of leagues, and we'll see how the Welsh and the Italians play it. I suspect the Welsh will be unchanged, but the Italians might switch a few players out. And this is what we've got going on today. Ukraine, North Macedonia in Group C at 2 p.m. Denmark, Belgium in Group B at 5 p.m. We'll be watching that, and we'll also be watching Netherlands, Austria at 8 p.m. So the state of play in Group B is a bit more open, a bit less cut and dried than Group A. The Belgians can pretty much guarantee qualification. If they win, they'll go on to 6 points. Finland and Russia have already both played. The last round of games gives us Finland versus Belgium and Russia versus Denmark. So, mathematically, even if the Belgians win, we could still have a Finland win and a Russia win on the last day, and they won't be technically, mathematically guaranteed as qualified. But we're in the realms of the unlikely again there. And again, the Danes can't go home today because they could still catch either Finland or Russia on the last day. So basically, it's all very open in Group B, but we'd still make the Belgians strong favourites. No draws really does open these groups up. We've got no draws in Group C yet. Austria and Netherlands both looking good. So if Netherlands were to win and go on to 6 points and the Ukrainians and the North Macedonians drew, the Netherlands would be through already. But then if we get a victory, we'll have a similar scenario than we were looking at there. If we get a victory for either Ukraine or North Macedonia in the earlier kickoff, then it will still all be open going into the last game. And we'll be doing loads of maths and struggling around with the numbers. There we go. Let me know your MVP for yesterday. Mine's probably Gareth Bale, giving his value to the team. Miranchuk for Russia, the goal scorer. Locatelli was man of the match. I love Insigne for Italy. He could be a key creative player in the knockout phases and further if the Italians keep going on their same path. As I said, we'll be back today. Look at those two games, the 5 p.m. and the 8 p.m. We'll watch along both Denmark and Belgium, Netherlands and Austria. Euro 2020 rolls on. We thank you for your support. So many people watching the watch-alongs. Get your comments in on this video if you're catching up the day after. We think we've got everything covered, every type of video on the channel. The watch-alongs, the reviews, and then for even more infinitesimal analysis, we'll do the goals and good bits videos from all the watch-alongs and put my reactions up. They're often a little bit of fun as well. So we've got everything covered. So why don't you hit subscribe and ring the bell on the channel and give us your support that way. Right, thank you everybody for watching. Join me later one more time. 5 p.m. Denmark, Belgium. I'm always reminding myself actually rather than you. Netherlands, Austria at 8 p.m. Right, thanks everybody. Enjoy your day and I'll catch you later for another evening of Euro 2020 football. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.